Join us for 3 adventure-packed days in Chalten, Argentina, the hiking capital of Patagonia. Watch as we spot condors, conquer trails, chase waterfalls, and soak up incredible mountain views. Is Chalten worth adding to your Patagonia itinerary? Stay tuned to find out. Our journey started this morning in El Calafate. We booked via Chalten Travel, and it cost around $20 USD per person. We boarded the bus for a 3.5-hour journey to Chalten. Chalten is a charming hiking town, located in the southern Andes and nestled in the valley where the rivers de las Violetas and Fitz Roy meet. It largely sprung into existence due to its proximity to Mount Fitz Roy, and it's very well set up for hiking. Most of the trailheads are just a short walk from town.
We've made it to Chalten, as you can see, the sign right behind us. We've literally just got off the bus, but this town looks amazing.
After checking into our Airbnb, we had a wander around town and decided to grab dinner at a place recommended to us by some fellow hikers on the W Trek. It's called Dominga and it was incredible. They do pizza and pasta and we would highly recommend. After waking up to the most incredible view, we're kicking off our first full day in Chalten with a short hike. It's only about a 20-minute walk through town from our accommodation right to the trailhead. Starting at the Ceferino Fonzo Guard Station, just across the Fitz Roy River Bridge, at the edge of town.
So we're just setting out for a hike now. It's a really short one today. We're doing a hike called I think it's called the Mirador Los Condors. Apparently it's only about 1k there, 1k back. Because we're still pretty sore and broken following the W Trek. So we're going to see how we feel on this short one and then decide what to do tomorrow. But the weather's quite beautiful. I think it's about 8 degrees or so. And apparently this one's really flat. So hopefully we find it really easy. It's incredibly picturesque here already. So here we go.
The hike we're doing today is called the Mirador de los Condors, and as the name suggests, condors are frequently spotted along the trail. We spotted some, but they're so hard to get on camera. It's that little black speck you can see flying amongst the clouds. You might have to take my word for it. Whilst the trail is short, it is a bit steep, so be prepared for that. I kind of wish I had my hiking poles to get up here, but you do get to enjoy the view on the way up, looking over Chalten. Thankfully there aren't very many rocks and the trail to the viewpoint is well marked and easy to find. We make it to the top with just a few rocks to clamber over to get to the very top. The climb was more difficult than we imagined, maybe largely due to our tired legs, but still really quite easy. And the view over Chalten and the entire valley is spectacular and well worth the hike, especially with Mount Fitz Roy in the background. It's pretty cloudy today, so we can only just see it, but hopefully the clouds will clear a little so we can see it on our way down. There is another lookout you can add on to this hike, called the Mirador Las Aguilas. We didn't realise this, but we saw the return trail on the way back down. Consider adding that on to your hike if you're looking for something a bit longer.
So we made it back down. The trail was quite easy on the way up, a little bit steep, amazing view up there, but quite tough on the way down. Our knees are still really sore after the W trek, so definitely feeling it in the knees. And I somehow have like twisted my ankle when we're in Perito Moreno Glacier, so that's really not feeling great. So we'll definitely need some assistance to get up to Fitz Roy tomorrow. We haven't made a call about whether to do that or not, but the weather is looking perfect if we decide to do it, so got some decisions to make.
On our walk back into town, the clouds clear a little and treat us to a beautiful view of Mount Fitz Roy. What an epic first day. We're excited for tomorrow. Once again, the trailhead is walking distance from our accommodation, but this time on the other side of town, not far from where we ate dinner on our first night here.
Okay, so here we are, we're setting off for a hike today. We're doing one called Laguna Capri, I think it is. It's supposed to have really incredible views of Mount Fitz Roy. We were originally thinking about maybe doing the full Fitz Roy hike. I think it's about 26 or 28 kilometres, but our bodies are just not prepared for that. We're feeling pretty sore still. And after that short hike yesterday, which was about 5 kilometres, our knees are not doing too well. So this one is the shorter one. I think it's still kind of moderately challenging. And it's about 10k, so hopefully we make it. Let's see how we go.
It doesn't take long until we're huffing and puffing. The trail is a bit steep and quite sandy in this first section, but it's also not long until we can see another beautiful view into the valley. As you can see, the weather is absolutely amazing today, with barely a cloud to be seen. This should make for an amazing view of Fitz Roy. The Laguna Capri trail is the same at the base as the full hike to Mount Fitz Roy, but circles back a little sooner, around the lake as the name suggests. The trail is very well signposted and we've seen a number of other hikers, but it's certainly not crowded. But let's see what it's like when we reach the viewpoint. Just like yesterday, the trail is clear of rocks, and I'm so glad. This is definitely more what I thought the W trek was going to be like. We're powering along, and although our legs are tired, we're feeling good. It doesn't feel like long, and we're at the viewpoint. There are quite a few other people here, and we jostle a little to find a good spot to find some photos, but it's so worth it.
We made it to Fitz Roy Mirador, just in the background there. It wasn't too hard getting up here, it was actually much easier than we thought. And the weather is incredible, look how clear it is. So we kind of feel like we can continue on to the actual viewpoint. We're also a little bit worried about the future of our legs, so this is it for us. And hopefully we don't struggle too much on the way down.
Hopefully.
We can have some beers in town.
Do we get to dinner?
I am blown away by this view. I could sit here and look at this view all day. We have been so incredibly lucky with the weather. If you're wondering what time of year this was, it's the 18th of March. You've probably heard this plenty of times by now, but Mount Fitz Roy is actually the mountain in the famous Patagonia logo. So of course we had to get the cheesy selfie pointing at us wearing Patagonia gear in Patagonia. We sit and enjoy the lunch we've packed. Banana and peanut butter sandwiches, if you're wondering, our absolute favourite hiking lunch, and calculate whether we have enough time to reach the summit. We don't. Sadly, we didn't think our legs would be up for the climb, and we haven't left early enough in the day to return to town before sundown. We continue on with the trail loop, and it's stunning because we get to look at Mount Fitz Roy for a good portion of it, which is definitely taking my mind off the soreness in my knees. There are a few rocks now, definitely don't appreciate those. Thankfully, they don't hang around for long. As we pass the turnoff to the Mount Fitz Roy base, I feel a pang of regret that we're not going that way. I guess now we have to come back someday. As we round the lake, we are treated to the most spectacular view of Mount Fitz Roy behind the lake. Breathtaking. Then there's a condor, up close, definitely capturing on camera this time. How incredible is that? It is possible to camp here to break up the hike to Mount Fitz Roy, rather than trying to do it all in one day. And that would definitely be a way to save some money on accommodation if you're on a budget. Then it's time to start heading back to town. We follow the same trail back down and are treated to a fantastic view of Chalten on our way.
So we just made it back down. We're back in the parking lot now, but we're nearly back in town. So it was a bit tough on the legs coming down. Definitely felt it in the knees. But overall not too bad. Glad we made it, glad we did it. The weather is still incredible. So it's really sunny here still. And not a cloud anywhere to be seen. So it's probably going to be a really cold night. But now we're going to see if we can get some cervezas. Maybe a quesadilla to reward ourselves.
Epic views, epic trails, epic beers. What another great day in Chalten.
Such a good view, isn't it? We're just leaving for a little trail to a waterfall. I think it's called Trio del Salto. Had a bit of a slower start this morning, just chilled out, had a few coffees in our Airbnb, which is really, really nice. Absolutely loving this little town of Chalten. But the legs are a little bit sore after yesterday. Not too bad, but we thought we'd just take it a bit slow this morning. So it's about 12:45, we're setting off. It's not very far. I think round trip is 6 or 7 k's. And not much elevation, so pretty cruisy. Didn't even bring the hiking poles today. But we stopped at a little bakery, got some empanadas and a few treats and a sandwich to enjoy once we get to the waterfall. So here we go.
The waterfall trail is not the most picturesque, certainly not compared to the Mount Fitz Roy hike. There is a section where you walk along the gravel road, so when cars come it gets real dusty. So glad that we brought our puffs along with us.
Whoa, it's huge. I just got a glimpse of it. To the waterfall. It's beautiful. A little bit crowded.
But the pastries were good.
The empanadas were great.
Delicious.
So love it, El Chalten.
Like all of the hikes we've done in El Chalten, this is an out and back trail, so we follow the same path back into town.
And now we just made it back to town. So that was a pretty easy hike, flat, kind of along a dirt road for a bit, which isn't the best, but definitely something nice to do when your legs are a little bit tired, and the waterfall is really nice, so would recommend. So now we're gonna maybe do a little bit of souvenir shopping, try and get some local little treats, and enjoy our last night in El Chalten. They look really cool for me.
We're staying at the Solo Lofts, nestled just off the main street with an incredible view down into the valley. This is by far the nicest accommodation we've stayed in on this trip so far. It cost about $115 USD per night, but we're really glad we splurged here, giving us the chance to fully rest and recover before heading to the big cities. It was also fully stocked for us with local bread, the most delicious calafate jam, which you absolutely have to try when you're in Patagonia, and fresh coffee with a French press. And now it's our last night in El Chalten, but we're treated to the most epic sunset I've ever seen. The camera, especially the GoPro, doesn't even come close to doing it justice, so I'll pop in some pics from our iPhones too.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day here in El Chalten, but we have our big bags because it's our last day. Today we're heading to Buenos Aires, which I'm very excited about, but a little bit sad to be leaving El Chalten, which means we're leaving Patagonia. So it has been incredible here. So yeah, a little bit sad to be leaving, but so excited to explore the big city. So here we go.
That wraps our time in El Chalten. Hopefully you can tell, but we absolutely loved this little town and definitely want to return one day. If you don't have El Chalten in your Patagonia itinerary already, see if you can fit it in. It's well worth the stop. And if you made it to the end, we love you. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe to see what we get up to in Buenos Aires. Until the next one, keep exploring.